Okay. Hey, it says we're live. I'm live. I'm living it up. Live here on Minutes of Milo Show. Guess what? I don't have my ears in. There we go. Now we're ready. So I can hear me hearing you all night long with my ear in. Welcome everybody. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time. Welcome, welcome. So this is I think this is show 74 for the Minutes with Milo show. And right now it's live. And if you're watching it right now, you're watching it live. So I appreciate that. If you're watching it later, I appreciate you there. Like, subscribe, do the YouTube things, click the notification bell, send me a comment. Makes my life happy. Not my wife. She could care less. Makes my life happy. All right. So I didn't get to do a show Thursday. Got tied up. Was away from the internet, computer, all that stuff. So got back too late, and so I just kind of skipped it. I know y'all were heartbroken. I could feel the tears, the screams of anguish radiating through the universe. And I'm sorry. So I'll make it up to you. Doing a Monday night show. We'll do a Thursday night show. We're back on track. No fouls, no harm. So tonight's show, Chiggers. I don't know if everybody in the world has chiggers. I know in the South we've got chiggers. I didn't know a lot about chiggers. I get bitten by chiggers. And like I said in the description, if you've ever played outside as a kid, rolled around in the grass, go running through a field where it's waist high, then you probably got bitten by chiggers. So I had heard from a coworker that chiggers burrow under your skin and they stay there, which is not a pleasant thought at all, actually. Well, sorry, didn't mean to crunch that little cube of ice in your ears. So, but I found out that's not really true. So the chigger is, and I can't pronounce scientific names, but it belongs to the same family as like ticks. So a chigger is attracted to humans as a source of food, but they don't attach themselves like a tick. They don't burrow under the skin and live there. In fact, chigger, I think, I'll bring it up here in a minute. I think a chigger has like 5 different life cycles. So the only time that it really is biting humans, apparently, and not, it doesn't wait out there just for humans. Any warm-blooded creature, mice, chickens, dogs, cats, raccoons, squirrels, any of those things can be chigger bit. So it doesn't just wait around out there. It's just like a tick. Goes about its life, hops on a host, gets some blood, goes on about its life. So lays eggs, hatches into a larva. Now that's the one that really likes to get on you and bite you. And it doesn't have venom. It doesn't have, toxic waste in its mouth or any of that stuff. It doesn't pass on diseases, but it does cause an allergic reaction in the skin. And much like a mosquito bite, or a flea bite, it itches, makes a welt, and it can be kind of severe because they get pretty big, and then they itch a lot, and you get scratched a lot, and then they get inflamed a lot, and they look a lot worse than they really probably are. So then they go from a larva stage to nymph stage, and then to the adult stage, and then they die. So what I've read up on them is man, they're teeny tiny things. We'll look at some pictures of them, but I mean they are the size of like a little ink dot on a piece of paper. Just take your ink, or your pen, and dot it on the paper. And that's basically about how big they are. Now, I think we confuse a lot of what we think are chiggers with clover mite. Okay, so because I have seen these little, and I just call them mites, little itty bitty red bugs that crawl around on your house plants. If you got house plants out on the porch and you flip the leaves up or you look around in the dirt, there might be these little red bugs. Chances are really good that that is not chiggers. Probably a clover mite. They don't bite you or suck blood or any of that stuff. Hey, Robert, a mite or the same family as mites. So, like I said, I'm not good at scientific names, but I think these all kind of mites and chiggers kind of fall into the same, almost like spider category, because what I read is a chigger in its larva stage has 6 legs. Then in the adult stage, it has 8 legs. A mite, and I'll read some of the differences, because I think what I see a lot on the porch and the flowers and the flower beds and in your windowsills or climbing on the house are mites, little clover mites. Not the same thing as chiggers. So chiggers don't really live on house plants and things like that. You'll find them out in the tall grass or in the yard, those kind of places. Now I've heard that the granddaddy longlegs really are mite killers. Not like I might kill you, but like I kill mites and eat them. So, and I can see how, because mites are mighty small, teeny. And, rumor has it, a lot of rumors, a lot of things I've heard. So, I'd heard that chiggers burrow in your skin, under your skin. That's not true. So maybe some of the things that I've heard are not true. But rumor has it that granddaddy longlegs are some of the most venomous spiders there are. But their mouths are so tiny, they cannot bite a human. But I've also understood that they are mite killers. You see them everywhere. Their granddaddy longlegs are just everywhere. And I think these little clover mites, these little mites you see on your house plants, things like that, they prey upon those. Now I know things like praying mantises, eat those things as fast as they can get a hold of them. They'll eat anything that is slightly smaller than itself. And then sometimes, maybe even things that are pretty close to its size, and they don't, like a grasshopper. I've seen pictures of praying mantises getting hold of a grasshopper, and they hold it in its little arms, pinchers, and eat it like corn on the cob. Now, do they eat the whole thing? No, probably not. Like a lot of things, they get through to the soft inner parts and ingest, suck, whatever you want to call it, the soft inner parts. They don't eat it like a fish would eat the grasshopper and just, and swallow the whole thing up. So take it for what it's worth. Praying mantises is one of the better predators out there for insects. Its size and smaller, so guarantee you, leave your praying mantises alone. Let them do their thing. Granddaddy longlegs, leave them alone. Let them do their things. Wolf spiders, squish them with a vengeance. Whew. Don't know what a wolf spider is. It's like a baby tarantula that's everywhere. And they, whew, long legs, furry looking things, man, they give me the willies. Give me the willies. So, squish them. Squish them, squish them, squish them a lot. Put my reading eyeballs on. Let's see. Let's share some of this. Let me get over here. In a way, chiggers look like a tick. So let's share this. Present to you all a share screen. Okay. Where'd it go? There it is. Add to screen. There we go. All right. So you see my little pointer? You can see my little pointer moving around. Robert says they're so quick. You're talking about like a praying mantis? I mean, I didn't realize, I do now, but at first when I started looking at praying mantises and stuff, I didn't realize they could fly. And I don't guess they fly like as good as birds, of course, but they can cover some distance. Oh, wolf spiders. Oh, yeah. Man, you got a basement too, buddy. Pick up something off the floor or move a box, and that big old thing comes running out from behind there. Stomp it. Stomp it quick. So, over here on the right, this is what I was talking about. Its life cycle. So, apparently chiggers really like summertime. Now, a clover mite is a spring and late and early fall kind of bug. So, not necessarily all out in the hot, hot summer. Chiggers, summertime. But the larva, right here, the six-legged version, is what gets you and chews up on you. All right. So, do you have chiggers? Now, see this little thing right here. This is on a blade of grass, man. So this is chiggers and clover mites. These things over here, these look like ticks, man. They don't look like any kind of chigger I've ever seen. I guess this is on sand. I mean, this thing looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy or something, all red. But this is an 8-legged. Okay, clover mites cannot be seen alone. They are always with colonies, lots of them together. While chiggers can be seen alone or in colonies. Clover mites do not bite or cause health issues, but chiggers' larvae can bite humans and cause redness and itching in your skin. Clover mites are active during spring and fall. Chiggers are active during summer. Clover mites are 8-legged insects, and these measurements mean nothing to me. They're reddish brown or green in color. Chiggers are summer insects that go up to 0.9 millimeters, which is bigger than the clover mite, and they're red. So this is what I talk about in the habitat. Chiggers feed on the blood of animals, birds, and humans. Adult chiggers do not bite humans, but the larvae are known to bite humans and animals as well. Clover mites evolved from unfertilized eggs. Chiggers have proper metamorphosis. Life cycle contains 4 stages: egg, larva, nymph, and adult. So the larva is the one that you look out for. Clover mites can be found in lawns, tree tree bark, foundations, walls, and around window frames. Chiggers love to stay in moist grass fields like lawns, deep forests, and they can be found where the large grasses are available. So, that's it. If you ever go running out through the field and it's like waist high and you're out there playing, I used to get it pretty good, I think, when we would go butterfly hunting, catching, whatever you would call it, and would go into the tall grass, and they probably weren't butterflies. I mean, I guess they're butterflies. You know, and you're out there with a little net and you're trying to get them, and the grass is, when you're a kid, it's up around your waist and you're jumping around, and you get chiggers. You get chigger bites. They get on you, and they get in, like I said, the waistband of your clothes, you know, around your shirt sleeves and things, and they bite you. And they can leave. If you look at this picture, this is looks like an adult chigger. See, that's on somebody's finger. I mean, it's just small. Like I said, probably about the size of a pin, you know, pin dot, maybe a little bigger than a pin dot. But you can kind of tell right there. And that looks like, if you can see it, I don't know how well you can see it. Robert's probably watching this on his phone, so he barely even notices there's a dot there. But you can see that this has like 4 legs on each side. So that's 8-legged. But it's really red. It's really a pretty bug because it's red. All right, so you can see down here this ankle picture. Where is it? Here. All right, so this is what my feet look like when I come back from the beach. When you go to the beach and you get those, what they call no-see-ums, that's what I think of when I think of chigger bites. Now this picture, I guess that's an adult chigger. It looks a lot like a tick, but I don't know. I got this little one here. But see, they're not really red. They're not really red. What I consider chiggers is like that. The red ones. This one's a big one. So now this one, I think, is what they talk about maybe when they think they burrow under the skin. So this, I think, is just biting it. And I don't know what this is supposed to mean, but it looks like it's digging into a hair follicle or something like that. Let's see what this says. Chiggers are the tiny, immature stage of a large mite called a red bug. These colorless, parasitic larvae measures only 1/150th of an inch in diameter, but they pack a punch and they're itchy bites. 2 or 3 generations of chiggers are produced each year. They favor damp areas, low-growing shrubs, grass, weeds. Once on a human host, they crawl upward until they find an area where clothing fits tightly against the skin, such as waistbands, bra bands, and socks. They settle in and bite you. Chiggers pierce the host skin with their mouth parts and inject a digestive enzyme that dissolves skin tissue. The chigger then sucks up the dissolved epidermis as food. As they feed, the tissue around the bite hardens to a tiny tube. For 3 or 4 days, the chigger continues sucking liquefied tissue through the tube, much like a person drinking through a straw. The chigger never burrows into the skin and does not feed on blood. Well, I got that all wrong. Even though the chigger mite is usually scratched off and killed soon after biting, the tiny hardened tube and the digestive enzymes stay on the skin. They continue to itch and ooze liquefied tissue, which dry to form a hard cap. After a few weeks, the skin heals and the bite goes away. So how to get rid of them? Basically, they tell you you've got to have people come out and spray your yard. See, that's not what I had read earlier about the chigger. Let's see. Let's see what the Cleveland Clinic says. They're a species, chiggers are a species of mite and are close relative to spiders and ticks. Chiggers are microscopic and are almost invisible to the naked eye. Once chiggers hatch from eggs, the mite feeds on the skin tissue of a human host or a host, animal or human, before falling off and then turning into an adult mite. Found around the world, chiggers live outdoors on plants and wooded and grassy areas, typically around water, most actively during the summer months. Chigger larvae will release a liquid chemical to the skin, kill skin cells. The dead skin cells form a tiny straw for the chiggers to drink skin tissue. Causes itching. It's very intense for the first 24 to 48 hours. Chiggers will fall off of your skin if you begin to scratch. So now, see that other one said it'd stay on you for days. Well, how can you get bit and start itching and you not scratch it? Right? So basically, you get bit, and I think it's like a mosquito to me. You get bit, you swap it, and you get rid of it, but it's already bit you. So I just can't. I guess maybe you get bit and you just kind of move your waistband around. Maybe that doesn't get rid of them, or they're tucked in there pretty close. And you don't squish them by you know rubbing on them, whatever, and they probably stay in your waistband until you get to a place where you can really get them off your skin. Maybe that's how they get to feed more and more and make more and more bites. You probably won't notice chigger bites right away. It could take up to 3 hours after the mite makes contact with your skin before you experience any symptoms. Boom, there you go. Chigger bites cause itching near the bite zone. Robert says, like a laid back mosquito. Yep, just going to hang out for a few days, have a snack, and jump off and get to adulthood. Of course, we talked about how to get it. Chigger bites after a visual examination on the pattern of the bite. How are they treated? Use topical creams, Benadryl, anti-whatever. Cleaning affected areas of skin with soap and water. Cold compress. Over-the-counter itch cream, chamomile lotion, antihistamines. How can I reduce the risk of getting chigger bites? Wear protective clothing when outdoors. Treat clothes with insecticides. Use a bug spray or a mosquito repellent. I don't know. Avoid outdoor activities. Don't go outside. You don't get chigger bit, just don't go outside. Easy peasy. Well, I know chiggers are, I don't know, troublesome, but what what I hate worse than chiggers is mosquitoes. You just can't go outside anymore and and not get mosquito bit. I came home, went out to check on the chickens, and the goats were out there. So I took the goats some old Cheerios, out of date Cheerios. Well, these goats don't eat everything, but they like the Cheerios. So I just pour them out in my hand, give them to them, trying to spread it around. Well, I must have got bit. I was out there 10 minutes. I must have got bit 3 times by mosquitoes just out there feeding the goats. I mean, they're everywhere. Of course, I live in the woods. Lots of tree stumps, lots of damp leaves, lots of breeding grounds for mosquitoes. Buddy, I can't go outside. If you're outside more than 10 minutes, you know, you if you stand still, you've got 3 or 4 of them on you already. It just drives me crazy. And I've got a field. I don't go running around out in the field. I keep it mowed, so chiggers, and I don't think that's nearly the problem as mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are the devil. Yep. Serve no purpose except to offend the weak. Well, now you know. Chiggers. So some places call them microscopic. Maybe that's the larva. The adult looks like it's pretty good size. I've never gone hunting for chiggers, to see if I could see what one looked like. Like I said, I see the red mites on my plants and things like on the porch, crawling across the porch all the time. Maybe I'll have to catch one and look at it real close. When my kids were young, we found these little boxes. I don't, I can't get my back. So these little square, clear plastic boxes. And in the top of the box, on the lid, was a magnifying bubble, whatever you want to call it. So you would catch a bug in the little box and snap the lid onto it, and then you could look at it, and it's super cool. I wish I could find those things. But we took them with us camping and stuff, and you could, like I said, anything, a grain of sand or, whatever would fit in the little square boxes, a pretty tiny square box, but it had the magnifying lid on it, so you could just pop it down there and look at it. That would be perfect for these, because, the little bug would just walk around in there and couldn't get out. So I have to ask my wife where those might be. If I can find a chigger, maybe I'll capture one, take some pictures of it, and put it up on YouTube as a short or something like that, or one or the other. Maybe I can trap a mite and a chigger in the box and they'll fight. They do that with praying mantises. If you've ever seen, I think it was Bruce Lee's movie, Enter the Dragon. I think that was the one where there was a island competition of the best karate people. They all traveled out to this island and, had this super secret competition. But anyway, on the boat ride over to the island, they were fighting praying mantises on the boat. So why do I remember that? I don't know. In MASH, they raced cockroaches and would bet on cockroach racing. Go figure. I mean, I guess, anything that people can bet on, they'll make do. If they've got praying mantises to fight, if they've got cockroaches to race, they'll bet on anything. So, but I just found that interesting. I thought about doing a show on apex predators, and the only reason was like in the insect world. I mean, in the mammal world, everybody knows pretty much apex predators are big cats, lions, tigers, the bears, those kind of things are apex predators, the top of the food chain kind of people, mammals. But, in the insect world, what are some of the apex predators? I know a praying mantis is one. Some of the other things, like in a reptile, I looked it up, it is the Komodo dragon is an apex predator. Now, you would think because it lives, in the Galapagos, so you don't see them lots of other places. But Robert thinks the ladybug's an apex predator. Is that what you think? I don't know. Maybe I talked about granddaddy longlegs. Maybe they're an apex predator. But if a praying mantis could eat that one, I would think like it would be down on the list of apex predators. So maybe one day we'll look at insect apex predators, see who's out there, kicking butt and eating supper out of other insects. But I'd heard this is the time where chiggers are out, and you know, the guy I work with says they burrow under the skin. Close, I guess. You know, they can live onto you. You know, if you don't squish them or wash them off or whatever for a couple of days, they are, you know, dissolving your skin. You know, not just biting you like a mosquito. Well, a mosquito doesn't really bite you; it pokes you. You know, a tick embeds its head or grabs a hold of you with its teeth, mandibles, you know, those kind of things, and hooks onto you. It's in there for a penny and a pound, buddy. Tick gets on you and it don't want to leave. So I guess the chigger, as long as you don't kill it, wash it off, do the same thing for a couple of days, and leave these nasty welts on you. But like I said, I come back from the beach and I've got those things all over me, around my ankles, where I've been walking, sitting in the chair, all that kind of stuff, and I think maybe it's chiggers. I don't know. Never really looked. Maybe it's probably a combination of mosquitoes, no sims, sand fleas, whatever you want to call them. Maybe it's chiggers. I know they itch. They hang with me for days and days after I get back from the beach, and they're no fun. Just no fun. Anyway, so if you made it this far, I appreciate it. You might as well subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment. I mentioned it on one show. I noticed where YouTube put out a thing about podcasts. So I messed with a little bit of that tonight. It's just, I put 30 some videos in there, and you know, then started researching it and everything. It's almost just like another playlist, even though it's listed as podcast. So I've got to do more research, but I signed up tonight for Spotify's podcast, and I think it's free. If it's not, I'm not paying it. They can just kick me out. But I want to try to get some of these videos up on podcasts. So then maybe if because I know I don't watch podcasts, I listen to them. I don't know, it's frustrating because I've shown pictures in this video tonight. I talked about the pictures, and if you're not watching the video, you're just listening, then you're missing out on some of it. I understand that. But, you know, to me, a true podcast would be maybe what I started the channel for, is to be interactive with a guest, a caller, or somebody on, you know, the show via video chat or something like that. But nobody seems to have the gonads to join me. You know, I got to get another one coming on. We got to get together, get the band together, or do something, have another fun night, play a game. I don't know what we might do, but we need to get some more people on here so you just don't have to listen to me ramble. But anyway, hopefully watch for some podcasts, listen for some podcasts later. And then the people that can't just, you know, sit down and spend 30 minutes watch a YouTube video can get on Spotify, listen to the show while they're, you know, doing the gardens or scratching themselves from chigger bites or mowing the yard, or do it the way I do it. You know, when I'm bush hogging, working on a car, doing something like that, a lot of times instead of listening to music, listen to podcasts. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming, interacting with me. If you're watching it later, thanks for that. Like I said, look out for the podcasts. I'm going to try to get that going. Might as well. And see what happens. All right. Until Thursday, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.